Simply sending your application to the Commissioner of Police. He would consult with the with task force. You meet whatever criteria the task force sets out, and your permission will be granted once you meet the criteria.
Okay.
Superintendent, so in other words, we in St. Kitts, we are seeing big promotions. I get it on my WhatsApp and stuff like that, Facebook. This dance gonna happen this place, this party gonna happen this place. So you are saying, don't do that first.
Right, don't do that. That
get permission first before you do that.
Not good.
I
I
don't
get
know,
the
the police
sense
had to stop
that people
one
are
of
just doing that just to keep the skills of creating the flyers, because there's some real creative flyers that people.
So they say they're just being skillful.
I think they're just trying to keep the skills, because it's no use to promote something.
That's true.
I hope they're not putting money into the promotion and into the planning of the event before they get permission, because if you are turned down, you would have lost your investment.
True.
This is not time to really lose money. So we would really prefer if persons plan way ahead, apply for permission. Once you know you have permission, then you begin your marketing. And you'll be free to do your marketing, whatever marketing, but to spend money on marketing and preparations for the event, to be told at the last minute that you cannot have the event, you will be devastated if you would have invested money into it.
And that's very sad.
So we don't want that.
Makes sense. You want to open the lines now?
Yes, GQ. As we continue the conversation, we want to open the lines, so if anybody choose to call in, we would entertain him at this stage.
465-2555, that's 2555. And if you're overseas and you want to be involved in the conversation, 718-577-2916. So while we wait for the calls this morning, that's one issue you brought to the table in terms of, planning events properly. It's no longer just you alone. You have to consult with the authorities, more or less.
Yes.
Let's find out if someone else has another concern that you can address. Good morning, and you're live.
Hey, I got a question for the doc.
The doc.
Doc is not here today.
Doc is out. Is not.
No, you're probably online, and that's probably before. So we do apologize for that, but that program is over now.
Yes.
The program is over. Okay.
Yes. All right. Thanks for your call,
All right,
though.
thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Morning, ma'am.
Yes,
Good morning to all.
Good morning.
Not really a question, but a statement.
Yes.
No one is saying, right, that the police command and the rest of them are not doing anything. But from where I stand, and I know that there are others who feel this way, the problem is the communication and how it is carried over. I mentioned something on a radio station prior, and I know someone calling and rebutted. Well, I don't have any problem with that, and I said I would call in and straighten that out. But when you talk about the exceptions to wearing the mask, to be honest, I never heard the last meeting, and I'm not going to take up much time. I didn't hear the last meeting with the mayor and so on. I was not in a position to hear that. My response was based on the information that was given out by someone else who was in uniform, and how it went over. It went over in this high-handed, bombastic and commandeering way. That is the one that I was speaking to. Not because if I had heard the police command speak at that time, what I would have said would have been different. So it had nothing to do with what the police command said. I got information on that afterwards because I listened afterwards to that. But I was speaking to what I heard, and the person who rebutted me didn't hear that other set of information. And that is what I was responding to. It's this high-handedness. Now, like what I'm saying, we were told about a bottom-up approach to governance, and something like this. Let people know, because the people of this country, they are not stupid. And I don't really believe that all of this comes from the police command. I don't really believe so. I believe they are relaying whatever information was told to them. And I mean, some people are going to look at it and it's going to show them in a bad light. They kind of feel like they're coming over like they are bullies. And I don't think it's that. Now, the people in this country, they have common sense. I know sometimes we behave like we ain't got none. But if the information is put out there clearly, for example, listen, we were told New York is the authority, listen to them and whatsoever. That's what we were told, you know. We listened and they said there is no COVID or whatever that is in the Federation. No, we're still on lockdown. The borders are closed. Since March, nothing is coming in. Well, this kind of thing that is happening, it just doesn't add up. And then when we look, we realize some don't have on the mask when we are told to put on our mask. Now, if we are told, listen, the borders will be open whether in 2 weeks, 2 months' time, 2 years' time, and this is A, B, C, X, Y, Z, this is what is going to happen. People will adjust themselves accordingly. You think if the borders open tomorrow or next month or 2 years from now, persons are not going to do what they have to do? Some people might not even find themselves in town and whatsoever. They will do what they have to do. And the thing about it is, the citizens must be given credit. Okay, if we say we are 90-something% educated, we must be given credit for such. We can't say we are educated. We have all of this creative mind, but at the same time, we are not given the information and we are treated like we are mentally retarded and somebody has to think for us, somebody has to do this for us, and when they said to do this and we don't do it, they have to have this big stick holding over us to punish us.
Okay, Carla, thanks for your contribution.
This is what we are dealing with. It's not a matter to do with
Thank you for your call. We do apologize. You want to take some more calls, you said?
Yes, what happened is that...
Before you want to respond to her before?
No.
Yeah, she had a lot to say, so maybe we should respond.
Yeah, we should respond. I understand her concerns.
I didn't, sorry, before your comment, I didn't cut her off. She's probably still on the line. But we interrupted your point because the inspector has indicated that he gets your point and he will now respond.
Yes, we understand her concern, and what I would say, and I know the superintendent would add his portion, is that the NEOC have briefings all the time. We here on the Policing with You program, we engage the public, the general public, all the time. So this has been, and as the superintendent have reiterated over and over, we don't want to arrest, we want to do this, we want to educate, we want to educate. So in truth and in fact, the law enforcement agency and the powers that be in general have embarked upon a strenuous, consistent educating process. And we did indicate previously that people must wear their masks. And as a result of...
For that, but thank you for your call.
Yes, I'm not certain if I understand what she was getting at, but about being bombastic and things, but we always come here and say we have been very tolerant. In fact, people accuse us of not doing anything and talking too much.
You understand?
People call in this program and criticize us for just talking and not doing anything. And we keep saying we want voluntary compliance.
Yes.
We don't want planning to do.
Yes.
Because we're not getting the type of compliance that we want. And we are going to take it to another level to encourage compliance.
All right. Let's take this call. Okay, we lost that caller there. Good morning. You're live?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Question. You said that the people have to wear, when you're in public, you have to wear a mask. Okay. The street is the public street. But if a person is walking down the street all by themselves, do they have to keep the mask over their face?
No, we are reasonable people. We know that it is not possible to have your mask on 24/7 or all the time. So that if you are by yourself on a long, lonely street, there is no one else close to you to be affected, then of course you could ease the mask off. And I don't think a police is going to see you on the highway by yourself and to give you a ticket. So the mask is to protect you from others or to protect others from you. So if there's no one,
there are no others at all.
if there's no others, then there's nothing to protect.
Yes.
There's no risk to you.
Yes.
So you could ease your mask off. If you're in your vehicle going home by yourself, you could take off your mask. If you're walking at afternoons or at mornings, or if you're on your way home from work and you alone is on the street, you could take your mask off. That is totally fine.
Okay, but if you're in Bastille,
if you're in Bastille on 4th Street and 4th Street is
there isn't
crowded.
anyone next to you. But I'm heading down to the waterfront. There's nobody around me. It's Friday. Do I still have to keep
That's
the
what I'm
mask
saying.
on? Do
That's
the
what
people still have to keep the mask on their face?
That is what I just said. If there's no one around you, you could use that opportunity to ease the mask off.
Why I ask that is that it seems like people are still getting ticketed even if they're not having, just for not having on the mask on the street, you're getting ticketed.
No one has gotten ticket
that
as
was
yet.
my
so-
thing.
No,
You
that's
have a
not
good
true.
day.
Yeah, that's not true because no one has gotten any ticket as yet.
Thanks for your call. Let's take
So
this
we're
next.
still in the learning process.
Still in
We're
the-
still
still in
in
the-
process of the ticketing process.
Yes.
We're still in the education process.
All right, Joe.
Education process.
All right, line 4, you're live. Okay, we lost that one. Line 3, you're live. Good morning.
Sorry. Hello?
Hi,
Yes.
good morning. Yes.
Yeah, just give me just a few seconds. When I talk about the bombastic thing and so on, I guess there is a misunderstanding. I don't think the
Yes.
police commander or your panelists understood what I said.
Maybe not.
This was not in reference to them. No, I said another source
Okay.
in uniform. I was not just referring to the police high command. I would never say that.
So you're talking about in
Okay.
another uniform other than police
you
uniform?
mean junior police officers?
Sorry?
You're referring to junior police officers? Or other
If it's a
agency?
junior police officer,
Who would have made the bombastic
I don't
remark?
know if it's a junior police officer, but the person was in uniform.
Police
Police
uniform?
The person was in uniform.
No, we are trying to
when-
get from you if the person was in police uniform. We'd like you to help us with that. Was it another agency uniform or police uniform?
police
Okay.
uniform.
Okay.
Okay, when
Yes.
that other information was given, and that is what I was responding to, not what you all were saying. Because yes, you all talk about coming on all of the time and so on, but that particular this last time when you all came on as the task force, I was not in a position to hear that. Because not every time people are going to be in a position to hear.
Did the recordings?
It was
You could always listen to the
afterwards.
recordings.
Yeah, you could
When I had the
listen to
opportunity to
broadcast.
listen, when the exceptions and so on were given, because I had made mention of that before, and it was good that you all considered that and gave the exceptions. But what I am saying, this other source is how it came over, and that is the source that I was responded to, because it was also somebody who came out of the police department
Okay.
that
Okay,
said
we
that,
understand.
and it's the way that it was put over, and it did not go over well with people.
We understand.
Right?
Right.
So that is what I was talking to, not what you all said.
Thank you
But
very much.
what I would
All
advise,
right.
if you get
Okay.
two versions, if you get a positive version of something and a negative version, well, just discard the negative one and stick with the positive version of it. The negative one is, by the way, that's not the position of the organization. Stick to the positive version that you would have heard.
Let's go back to the lines. Line 1, you are live and good morning.
Good morning, GQ,
Hey, morning, Mr. Politics.
and good morning to Superintendent Henry there
Morning, sir.
and to Inspector Francis.
Yes, morning, sir.
Wonderful program as usual.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You know, understand? And I want to commend you all and the NOC because up to date with the police and the NOC report that this mass, especially Mr. Henry, because he does on the program, the briefing, and he said every day, every time they had a briefing. And you understand? You all will get criticized and this and that because of wearing a mask. But wearing a mask right now is important and very, very important. And important to the people at the Federation Health. You understand? So I just want you all to continue. And if the law say wear a mask, whether you're going down to the beach or you're going in the mountain, make sure you always get a mask. Because you don't know who you might get caught up with and have a conversation with.
Right.
And that's the most important thing. You understand? So I just want to commend you all going forward because the border is going to open soon. And when the borders open,
Fine.
Things going
we
to
don't know
change.
what's going to take place yet. You understand? And we got to be so particular with our life, especially with our school going to open. And our school children, they're going to be there.
That's true.
You know, coming from school and everything. Some of them might jump on a passenger bus. You know, so but it is well to let them continue to practice the way the mask and let them get a norm to the mask. Because when the borders open up, we don't know what's going to happen. So I just want to commend you all again. And just shut the negative behind. You're all back. This country is us, and we got to protect it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
This country is out.
Well, one thing, we know what's going to happen when the border is open. We are going to get cases.
Yes.
So we have to prepare now. We cannot wait until the border the borders are open, to suddenly start to wear masks. It's not going to happen. We are creatures of habit.
Yeah, we are creatures of habit.
And
It's
so
true.
what we are accustomed to doing, that is what we will do. So if we are not accustomed to the mask now, we will not be accustomed tomorrow. We will not use it tomorrow. So if we get accustomed now, when the border open 2 months from now, it will become second nature. And whenever we leave the house, we make sure we have the mask.
So this is not a matter of no COVID there, so why wearing a mask?
Right.
This is more or less preparation.
Exactly.
preparation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want people to feel that it's okay because there's no COVID. We want you to feel that I have to prepare for when COVID come back.
Because GK, you have to bear in mind that although St. Kitts is quote unquote COVID free, beyond our borders, there are islands, federation, territories with increased numbers daily and deaths. People are dying and numbers are going up.
Let's hear some more from our callers.
Yes, please.
Line 3, you're live and good morning. Hey.
Good morning. Don't
Yes.
laugh, man. I
Yeah.
take back up the uniform.
And I should laugh, okay.
Good morning to my two superior here.
One is
Now, it's only law enforcement personnel use a uniform.
Yes.
And
Well,
I could testify to the fact that every time there is a briefing, Mr. Henry, you are the only one as a police that will be giving information. So this heavy-handedness is negative.
yeah.
So let's throw that behind you.
Yeah, not
Be looking
positioning
forward.
policies.
Only what's up front that counts. Now, if I am laying on the beach by myself, then there is no need for me to put on the mask.
Correct.
But if anybody else coming on the beach and they want to sit down near me and stand up and talk, then I have to put on my shield
Correct.
and on my mask. So
I
that's
like
the
that.
purpose of using the mask when you're out in public.
I like the way you put it.
Not
Shield.
because you're in an open air. You're going to put on a mask when no one else is around you.
Right.
Because when you're driving your car and you're alone in there, then you have your mask.
Yeah, you take it
But
off.
if you're going to take up a passenger, then you put it on. Now, the next thing in with this COVID-19 business. Where there is one, there is no problem. But from the time the one start to increase, problem starts right there.
Right.
So we all always have to think about what could happen after the last minute. Don't think about what happening now. We ain't see nobody, so me all right.
Right.
And whatnot. But the program is good. And I like the task force. Because every day they brief us with everything, and then even though you get questions, day after day the same question makes no sense, but you still respond to it in a
Yes.
professional way. So you all are doing great.
Yes.
And keep it up. We got to thank God that our little nation reached this stage without any death from this COVID-19. When we look what happening in the world, you all are doing great. And thank you. You all are doing good, and keep it up and go forward. Don't let nobody distract you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. I'm in the force again, man.
I realize you pick up your uniform.
Thank you very much for that contribution.
All right, let's take this call. Line 1, you are live and good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I think the mask is important, right? Because one day I went to the supermarket and this gentleman, he have on him mask on top of his forehead. And he have on like a nasty cold.
Wow.
And I said, my goodness.
Wow.
Suppose somebody catch cold or something. So I think that it should really continue really mask.
Catch
Because
corona.
mask is important.
Not
I don't
only
see
catch
nothing wrong
cold,
with
catch
mask.
corona.
Yes, I agree. The mask is very important for that very reason. And
Thank you for your call.
I'm glad that you raised that point, Carla, because if you're wearing your mask on your forehead, you're not wearing your mask.
No.
Let me put it this way. If you're carrying your mask on your forehead, you're not wearing your mask. So under those circumstances, you will be deemed to be not wearing a mask.
Yes.
You could only be wearing a mask if it's covering your nose and your mouth. So if it's under your chin,
Like a lot of people do.
like a lot of people do,
Nope.
you're not wearing a mask. You're carrying a mask, but you're not wearing a mask. And the regulation requires you to wear your mask, to wear a mask.
All right, let's go to the line.
Before we go to the line,
Sorry.
Superintendent, you did indicate that we have not been ticketing anybody. Any time frame when we will start?
Well, we have to wait for it. The regulation has just been passed on Saturday, so we are waiting for the tickets to be printed.
Yes.
And that process has already begun. So as soon as
Very soon.
the tickets are complete, then we'll be ready. We hope that by that time everybody will be wearing
the
the mask, so we don't have to issue any ticket. I'll be so happy.
Yes.
So good. Line 3, you are live and good morning.
Good Good morning, gentlemen. This is Junior.
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 You know how I see it is that persons are coming up with all kind of excuses. The reality is that this pandemic is real.
Israel.
And the thing about the mask wearing, if you have a serious problem with wearing of the mask, my advice is to stay at home as much as possible.
Right.
I'm glad that the superintendent cleared it up, because person was of the opinion, if you go down the road, you're by yourself, you have to actually have on a mask. And I'm glad the superintendent cleared it up to that extent. The way I'm getting it is that the wearing of the mask is to prepare us for the reopening of the borders.
Correct.
Number one.
That's it.
Number two, if you are in a crowded area, it's best you wear the mask. If you're by yourself, naturally, you can take off the mask, you can give yourself a break. I personally, I try to avoid crowd as much as possible. I love where I live. But the reality is that some person is going to be up and down, but the mask is a protection of yourself, getting the virus and giving person the virus. Because we, as we will be saying all the time, yes, we are COVID-free, but persons are asymptomatic. We don't know if they are carrying it. So the reality is that to avoid this widespread, yes, we are in and the reality is that we're taking this thing for granted. We haven't reached to the stage where we have widespread spread of the disease and death and those kind of things like other countries. And if persons follow what's going on in the States in particular, when you have over 1,000 people dying every day, we can't afford to reach to that stage in the first place.
1,000?
1,000.
5,000 in Florida right now.
No, I'm saying a day. A day.
A day. I'm talking about a day.
Well,
not dying cases, new cases.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 1,000
dying. Okay,
one day.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm following the news, and that's the thing. A lot of persons are not following what's going on globally. So we just have to face reality. And if we practice now to wear the mask, especially when we are outdoors and in crowded areas, by the time the borders reopen, we're going to get cases. It will come a part of us.
Right.
It wouldn't be that difficult, and that's all you all are preaching over the months, especially your superintendent. You're being preaching it day after day. We were even saying the bus, they were guilty, but the reality is now the ticket coming up, person is trying to counteract and say, 500 is too much, and we are COVID-free. But the reality is that we don't want to take this thing for granted. That's the problem with us in the Federation. We like to take things for granted. Even when the hurricane, sometimes persons say, the hurricane this, how come the hurricane come? But when the hurricane come, you're caught off guard. What are you going to do? It's better to be prepared. So I'm glad that you all are being educating the general public on a weekly basis. Person can't complain. So when you all do what you have to do, wherever the chip falls, so it may be. Gentlemen, have a good day.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
But apart from the borders being open, we had a situation here in our federation over the August weekend in Nevis, where there was this man who was traveling from St. Martin to Guadeloupe on a boat by himself. He developed some difficulties, and he pulled into Oali Beach in Nevis, and he came ashore, and he went to the restaurant to get something to eat, say he was hungry. He went to the restaurant to get something to eat and drink, and then was heading back out to the boat. Now, he's coming from St. Martin. St. Martin is infected.
Wow.
And he come into a restaurant in Nevis. Now, had he gone in there and meet everybody, not practicing social distancing and being carefree because we are COVID-free, he could have come in with COVID.
Yes.
While Nevis was COVID-free,
Yes.
St. Martin is not. He come from St. Martin, and he go into a crowded restaurant, and COVID could have easily been introduced. Luckily, he was tested after the authorities became aware of it. He was intercepted, detained, tested. He was negative. But that was a close call for us. He could have been easily been positive, and he could have easily affected or infected persons in that restaurant. So that is another reason why we need to be prepared.
Yes.
Because we never know what is going to happen and when it's going to happen.
And Superintendent, I want to add that it is also equally important for us to police each other. Because if he comes in and no police officer sees him, but a citizen sees him.
But that is what happens.
And then they call it law enforcement officers. Then is when we are policing each other.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? We are making sure that we are safe. We're not just waiting on the police to do it.
And that is what happened. And so we want to thank the
General
residents
public,
there for that quick reaction.
And that's what we want to happen in St. Kitts.
Calling the authorities.
When people don't have on their mask, man, put on your mask now, man. You're close to us, put on your mask.
Gentlemen, we're going to take 2 more calls and we're going to wrap up the program as we get ready to prepare for this morning live coverage of National House.
Right?
Sure.
So people need to wear the mask. The mask is to handle you from picking up this thing and spreading it to
I like
people.
your example.
Very good example.
I hear a lady talking about if not corona in St. Kitts, why people have to wear hat. You have to wear a mask. I know it has people in St. Kitts maybe have it, but just because the government ain't testing nobody, if they start to test people, you might find 100 people. And let me tell you something, right? Here, just in New York, somebody was telling me, right? She gets sick. She went and she tested and she tested positive. And all she customers, them who they test, all of them come out negative. You know why? She was wearing the mask.
Good.
See? Good example. Very, very good example, Carla.
Blaming the health provider and
Very good
everything. Then you
example.
just stop wearing the mask ending you from picking up and spreading it. Okay, and that's what we're talking about. Wear your mask. If you don't want to wear your mask, stay home. Stay in your house. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very
Good
much.
morning, Mr.
Right, so
Miss Margaret.
I like your medical
Bye.
example.
All right.
The mask,
Thank you for your call.
the mask is a non-pharmaceutical prescription. And so if you don't follow that prescription, you're going to get sick. And same if you don't take your diabetes medication,
It's going to get worse.
You're going to get worse. So your sugar is going to go too high. So the mask is the prescription for this virus. And so if you don't wear your mask, you're going to be infected by the virus.
All right, let's take our final call. We're going to use line 3.
There's so much cars, you have to choose one.
Yeah. Good morning. You're live.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry that I'm on line 3. Let me
That's a good
say a
line.
word of encouragement
It's a good
to
line.
us people. Please, when people talk, you all need to listen and try to understand what they're saying, because when you understand, you all won't have to come to rebut for political reasons, because you will understand and it will lead to a sensible discourse. So the way you all put it over is as if people is attacking. That is not so. And when the borders are open, when we're talking about the mask wear, when the borders are open, I would like to know if the borders will be open to America, because America has a hot raging case, as they say. So I would like to know if they're coming in, because if they're coming in from America, then, I mean, don't turn the attention on the citizens. Turn it on who is allowing the gate to open to hotspots. All right.
Well, funny enough, America has just advised their citizens not to travel to St. Kitts because we are high risk.
High risk.
High risk.
Imagine that.
There's a high risk of them being infected with COVID if they come to St. Kitts. So they're telling the citizens don't come
Who
to
is
St.
COVID
Kitts. So I don't think we need to tell them don't come. They're already telling the people don't come.
All right, well, Jim, I'm going to let you wrap up the program. Who's going to go first? Superintendent, you're going to go
Well,
first?
yes, so I want to thank those persons who called in. I think the discourse was very educational, informative, and I think that persons are getting the message. I just believe that they're just not being able to kick the habit of not wearing the mask, and so maybe if we say it often enough, repeat it often enough, they would eventually get the habit. And with the introduction of tickets, maybe if 1 or 2 persons get tickets, then they would remember. But as I said before, we don't want to have to make you pay $500 to remember to put on a $5 mask. It's just not economically sensible. So we want persons to really wear the mask to keep themselves safe and to practice all the other protocols. The social distancing, the physical distancing, the hand sanitization, they all go hand in hand. So if you're not able to wear your mask, at least maintain your distance. Keep your hands clean, because you cannot wear a mask all the time. If you're eating at a restaurant, for example, you cannot wear your mask. So in those circumstances, you maintain your physical distance. So while your mask is off, you maintain your distance, your hands are clean, the chances are you still will remain safe. So practice all the protocols and keep yourself safe.
Yes,
Thank you.
I want to add to what Superintendent Henry has said. I want to thank persons for calling in. I'm glad to hear the new callers. I'm glad to hear the frequent callers. I'm awfully glad for the examples that the callers have set on the program with reference to wearing the mask and COVID-19. That gives a strong sense that people out there understand what is going on.
Yes.
Okay, I want to end with a quote that says, "Things could always be better, but things could always be worse." And this is a line attributed to an actress, Marla Gibbs, in the 1970s. So things could always be better in St. Kitts, but things could always be worse. GQ, see you when I see you.
This morning program came to you compliments National Bank. Remember, National Bank, always here.
Mimi, what's that song? There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit card can do.